taking back, opening a booster pack. Magnezone is not half bad, now you're sitting getting wrecked. Hitting, there's no going back with candies, it's insane. Stage 2s will remain, buying backs without a change. How about you go and try to beat this deck of mine? But there will be tragedy when we say goodbye. And if we fall behind, then you will surely die. We got that one move that will surely turn the tide. Cause I attach all the energies, attack and then I repeat with Mount Cornet, you see. Cause I attach all the energies, attack and then I repeat with Mount Cornet, you see. What's up YouTube, it's Dusk TCG here and welcome to episode 153 on my channel, where I'll be looking at another new deck from Ultra Prism, Dusk Mane Necrozma GX / Magnezone. But first, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more great Pokemon TCG content like this, and also hit the little notification bell so you're updated immediately when a new video pops up on the channel. Pretty convenient, right? Okay, first up we'll be looking at the main attacker. It's called Dusk Mane Necrozma GX, and it's basically Necrozma that is taking over this awesome Solgaleo GX, and boom, we got Dusk Mane Necrozma GX. And then we're also gonna make our way to the heart and soul of the deck, which is Magnezone, providing us with a ton of energies. And then we'll talk about some cards and tech cards we can use in a deck like this. So buckle up guys, let's get it going. Alright, Dusk Mane Necrozma. It's a new GX for the new set Ultra Prism, so definitely look forward to this GX because it's looking really promising. It's a 190 HP basic GX, which is on pair with things like Lapras GX, Turtonator GX, Ho-Oh GX and more. So yeah, that amount of HP is already looking very good, but things get better because this is a metal type, which is awesome because there's gonna be a ton of metal support cards coming. So I will cover some of them in this video already. Meaning it's a metal type means we're also hitting weakness against the most popular deck still in the standard format. It is Gardevoir GX, so that is definitely a great thing because Gardevoir will not have a great time against this metal deck. We're gonna use a bunch of metal Pokemon, but we can even one-shot it with our second attack without having to rely on weakness, so it does not even matter too much. But having the metal type is great because there's gonna be a ton of support cards coming as mentioned. But first we are gonna look at the weakness before looking at the attacks. It's weak to fire, which might cause a bit of trouble because Volcanion is still running around together with Turtonator. Also Ho-Oh Salazzle decks might just pop up here and there. You can also try and add in the new tool card that is coming out in the 6th Sun and Moon set, so that will not come out very shortly. It will come out in May, so not in February like with Ultra Prism. So we have to hold our horses, but this is Steel Frying Pan. It reduces the damage by 30 and removes the weakness of each of your metal types that this is attached to. So if you attach it to Dusk Mane Necrozma, boom, your weakness is gone and you get a little bit extra bulk. So this is really great if you are afraid of the fire matchup. But as I mentioned, Field Blower is the worst enemy, just like I compared it in the past with Ultra of the Sun. Your opponent has the control and might just get rid of that tool card and still go for the weakness. So that is just something to get rid of the weakness, but it's not the perfect thing at all. Next up is the Psychic Resistant. It's a welcome addition here. Things like Garbodor will have a hard time to one-shot our amazing GX, and Espeon GX does not even have an easy time since we are discarding our energies. A little known fact though is that the Dusk Mane Necrozma GX is an Ultra Beast, so upcoming cards that work for Ultra Beast will also work on Dusk Mane Necrozma as well. So I'm gonna just put a few here up on the screen, which is some of these cards I already reviewed on my Facebook page, facebook.com/TCG. Check it out there because these cards that will work for Ultra Beast will also work for Dusk Mane Necrozma, and that is a very good thing. So like this item card for example. The retreat cost of 3 is not too great. We will get stranded in the active position from time to time, which is never fun, although we can also make use of Heavy Ball thanks to that retreat cost. I'd love to add in Heavy Ball in this deck, but unfortunately Magnezone is running low here. It has a retreat cost of 2, so we cannot even use Heavy Ball, so just throw your Heavy Balls off the table. It's not gonna work in this deck. Now to the attacks. For 3 cardless energies, we have the amazing attack Claw Slash, which deals 60 damage. That was just sarcastic because that is just terrible. Yeah, 3 cardless energies for 60 damage, nothing great to say here. It's not a great attachment, but the good thing is that yeah, you can just knock out weak basics, things like Rockruff, Zorua, Rowlet, so at least it can do that. But the attack cost is something I don't like, even though you can rely on double colorless energies. We're not gonna run double colorless energies and this deck, only basic energy, so that attack cost is a little bit overpriced in our deck. It's at least a little bit useful, as mentioned, to knock out weak Pokemon like Frokis and Zoroas, and you know the drill, 60 HP weak basics. But now to the second attack, where it's all about. For 3 metal energies and a colorless energy, we can deal 220 damage, and then we have to discard 3 energies from this Pokemon, which might seem a bad thing, but if you picture a Magnezone later down the line, it's not that bad. Also, you also don't have that many energies on your Pokemon after you use the attack, so Tapu Lele won't come in and just ruin your plans. So 220 damage is awesome, and combined with Choice Band, we are able to one-shot anything in the format. So that will be our main strategy. We will be using that attack multiple times during a game to grab ourselves 2 prize cards per attack and then get ourselves the KO. Also, its GX move for only 3 metal energies deals 250 damage, but can only be used if we have more prize cards remaining than our opponents. So that means it's a comeback attack that can just get yourself back in the game. Basically. So this can be used early game if one of your Magnamines gets knocked out thanks to something like a boss wall or something. And this attack, ladies and gentlemen, knocks out everything in one blow. If you attach a Choice Band, boom, 280 damage, nothing will survive that, which rocks. So now that we know the main attacker and the attacks that it has, we'll be looking at how you can get so many energies on this Dusk Mane Necrozma GX, and that's with the help of Magnezone. Magnezone already is a Pokemon that is available in Breakthrough that has the lightning type, and you can just attach as many lightning energies from your hand during your turn to your Pokemon. This is the exact same thing, but for metal energies, which I'm gonna explain later in detail. So Magnezone, also being released in the Ultra Prism set, is a stage 2 metal type with 150 HP, so 10 HP extra than the one from Breakthrough, which is a welcome addition. It has the same weakness and resistance, so we do have that psychic resistance, making it quite buffy against things like Espeon GX, for example. Also, the resistance and the weakness is the exact same thing, so that is not good. If you're weak to fire, your entire deck will be weak to fire, so you have to figure out something to knock stuff out, because otherwise you will get destroyed by Volcanion. And every deck has its bad matchup, so that's why I'm saying this. Fire will get a little bit more playability thanks to this deck being so good. And as mentioned, Magnezone has a 2 retreat cost. I wish it was a 3 retreat cost, but you know how it goes. But the Magnezone is all about the amazing ability Magnet Circuit. So I already laid down the spoiler for you guys. It lets you attach as many metal energies from your hand to your Pokemon every single turn. So reminiscing of the old school Ember of Black and White or the Blastoise with the Deluge ability, this ability is self-explanatory. You aren't restricted to attaching only 1 energy during your turn, but only metal energies are able to be attached. And with Magnezone now, setting up Dusk Mane Necrozma GX is really easy. Also, for 4 energies, if you manage to get 4 energies onto your Magnezone, you can deal 130 damage, which is a nice number because things like Greninja and Baby Volcanion do have that amount of HP, so it could be useful from time to time against certain matchups. Okay, now that we know the 2 main cards of the deck, as mentioned, Magnezone is a stage 2 Pokemon, so that needs evolution. We're gonna talk about the pre-evolutions here first. It comes all the way from a Magnemite. Magnemite, you can have 2 options for Magnemite. You can run the one from Breakthrough, which has an ability that gives it free retreat if you have a Magnemite on your bench, which might come in handy. If you use Bridget early game, you can just swap to whatever you want to. The bad news is that it is a lightning type that is just weak to fighting and will be easily jet punched away by a Buzzwole GX. Which might not be a bad thing here, because you can then rely on that GX move of Dusk Mane Necrozma. So the choices are up to you. We also have a new Magnemite that has an ability that cannot receive any damage if it's on the bench. So as a bonus, this is a metal type which is weak to fire, so that is a bonus here. You're not weak to fighting, so Buzzwole needs a little bit more of a setup to knock you out, but still 60 HP is nothing too huge. I personally would run 2 metal ones and 1 lightning type, but the choice is completely up to you. Just make sure that you have 3 Magnamines in your deck. So now that we have 3 Magnemite and 3 Magnezone, we also need 1 Magneton, just in case we cannot draw into our rare candies if they're all priced or something. The metal type of Magneton seems to be the obvious choice here, since that one has 90 HP and it can also hit for 20 damage at some point in the game. Combined with a choice band could be an ideal move just to get some extra damage on the field. So 3-1-3 line seems to be efficient here, similar like the list that Tapu Bulu Vikavolt is running, but without the Vikavolt we are now playing Magnezone and the Tapu Bulu is replaced by Dusk Mane Necrozma. It plays the exact same way, just to let you guys know. So you want to set up really quickly thanks to things like Bridget, get some Magnemize in play, and next turn you evolve into that Magnezone and hope you get a bunch of energies into play. If you're running low on energies, you can also try out Professor's Ladder, getting those energies in the hand a little bit more efficient, and since you do plan on running Skyla as well, that is something you can get out thanks to Tapu Lele. So let me guys know what you think about Professor's Ladder. So I also think about running only 3 Dusk Mane Necrozma, since we're also gonna run maybe a few tech cards that I'm gonna talk about later in the video. So also we do run Super Rod in this list over things like a Rescue Treasure, since Super Rod can also recover a bunch of energies if need be. Then for some metal type tech Pokemon, so I would personally recommend the Solgaleo Prism card, also being revealed in Ultra Prism. I know you can only run 1 of them in your entire deck, but when you get it out, it's just such a crazy Pokemon, definitely in the late game. First up, it's a basic Pokemon, so you don't need to rely on rare candy to get your Solgaleo out. No Cosmox, no Cosmomes, you just get your Solgaleo, bang, it's a basic Pokemon. You can just slap it down on the bench, just like that. And its first attack states, for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, which most of the times they will have a bunch of Pokemon in play, attach a metal energy from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. So let's say the opponent has 5 Pokemon in total, 4 on the bench, 1 in the active, bam, you can get 5 metal energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. How amazing is that? So late game, when you've burned through a lot of resources and energies thanks to a Dusk Mane Necrozma GX, this Solgaleo can easily recover a ton of energies and create a late game win condition by attaching that many energies to your Pokemon. I don't know what the pull ratio will be for Prism cards, but I do think that this deck is reliant on that Solgaleo in the late game, so that's definitely a must in this deck. Next up is Registeel. This basic from Crimson Invasion is also a sweet addition to the deck to get back energies from the discard pile while dealing a bit of damage with Turbo Arm. As a bonus, it also has 130 HP, which makes it quite hard for things like Zoroark GX or Golisopod GX to knock it out in one shot. Next up is Celesteela GX with a monstrous 200 HP, and being weak to lightning definitely helps out against those pesky Volcanion matchups, which is also great because its GX move one-shots Volcanion EXs while flipping over your prize card. So you might just consider running a copy of Celesteela GX in your deck just to have an alternate attacker besides one that is weak to fire. And lastly, Cobalion. Cobalion, I just adore this card so much. It's from the Steam Seed Chat, not too hard to pull, it's a regular rare, and it has the attack Quick Guard. It can save you a turn or two against big basic decks that just are relying on big basic Pokemon like, let's say Volcanion, yeah. And that way you can just have yourself an extra turn because it becomes invulnerable with Quick Guard. Also, it's Revenge Blast for just 2 attachment. This deals 30 damage plus 30 more for each prize card the opponent has already taken. So late game, you can start sweeping things with a 1 prize card attacker. Yeah, I just love it like that. And the last option for an alternate attacker, just to get it out there, don't try and run all these attackers into just one deck. Pick a few of the tech cards I just mentioned, the last tech cards I guess, so things like Celesteela, Registeel, Cobalion. Get things that you want in the deck, not everything. Okay, the last one on the list is Dialga GX as a tech card. I know it's a dragon type, but just remember, this can also be used. Since it's weak to fairy, it's not weak to fire. Definitely run a 3-1-3 line of Magnezone, 3 Dusk Mane Necrozma GXs, and a Prism Solgaleo. All the rest is optional. And yeah, this Dialga GX is just crazy. We can just get our Dialga GX powered up thanks to Magnezone, and it also is hitting for a huge amount of damage, but it also has a unique GX move, and that's what gets the win condition going on if you can just manage to get that GX move going on. Okay, that GX move lets us deal 150 damage and then we can have another turn, which means if we use that GX move, we can go twice in a row and that can leave the opponent with a bunch of KOs and nothing to respond with. You can just use supporters, attack, and then you can just go to your turn again, use N and boom, you can just get yourself a winning condition thanks to that. It needs 5 energies though, so I don't know how consistent this will be, but I just wanted to get it under this video because it can attack for metal energy, so that is cool. And then lastly, for draw support, I think Oranguru is sufficient. It also packs quite a punch with Psychic against things like Shining Genesect or Tapu Leles or Gardevoirs, and can easily get out of the active position. Running things like Octillery would also help, but that would be clunky since you're already running a stage 2 Pokemon. Okay, now that we get all the possible cards, our deck cards out of the way, let's talk about some trainer cards. First up, our stadium cards. The stadium card of choice is Mount Coronet. This is a new stadium card from Ultra Prism, and I would run personally 3 copies of this card in this deck because it's just so perfect for this deck. It makes energy retrieval abundant in this deck. You don't even need it anymore. So what does it do? Once during our turn, we can make use of that stadium card and put 2 basic metal energies from our discard pile into our hands. So the synergy with Dusk Mane Necrozma GX and Magnezone is just obvious, and that's why we're running 3 copies. The good news is we are in control, we can slap it down and use it immediately, so that is awesome. It's a great stadium card. Get yourself a full playset, but definitely run 3 copies in this type of deck. Okay, I'm really hyped for this type of deck because I do love Magnezone. I've been playing Magnezone since 2012 and now it's back. We can make new decks with Magnezone, so that will be really awesome. So for the draw supporters, I suggest running a mixture of 8 draw supporters in total. You have the choice of Professor Sycamore and the new Cynthia. That's right, in my opinion, Cynthia is a sweet bonus to our draw support line. Unlike Sycamore, you don't have to discard your hand, but you can just shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 6 cards. If you have a Sycamore early game and you threw away a bunch of your Magnezone, you're screwed. With that, you have another option. Just play test a little bit and let me know what you think. I personally would run 3 copies of N, 3 copies of Sycamore, and 2 copies of Cynthia. So that is my personal list at the moment. That could change depending on how much playtesting I do with this deck. For Guzma, I would run 3 copies just to target the GX Pokemon you want to KO with Dusk Mane Necrozma GX every single turn. You get your energies up, you use Guzma and say, this guy will get KO'd. Bam! That's how it goes. And then a copy of Bridget to set up your bench with some Magnemines early game. You might even run 2 copies of Bridget if you have the room for it. And maybe a copy of Fisherman. Fisherman, if you guys are not familiar with it, it lets you get 4 basic energies from your discard pile to your hand. Since this is just an OP combo with Magnezone, this is definitely a great thing because we can search it out with Tapu Lele. A copy of Fisherman can save you games. And since we're already running Tapu Lele, I think 2 or 3 copies is efficient here depending on your playstyle. If you want to have more consistency, let's say you're on 3 Tapu Lele. If you don't like to start with Tapu Lele, then only run 2 Tapu Lele. That way your chances are decreased of starting with Tapu Lele. And you also have Super Rod to just get it back if it gets knocked out. Also, 2 Field Blowers is a must, since Garbodor can shut down our entire strategy easily. Also, just to think about it, things like Greninja with the Shadow Stitching is definitely a bad matchup since Magnezone gets cancelled out. Yeah, maybe you can just try and run Max Elixir, but I think it's too clunky here because Magnezone is just the energy acceleration on its own. I know Max Elixir could help if Magnezone gets knocked out, but you don't have the room for it, trust me on this one. Then also, 3 Rare Candy to get our Magnezone out quicker. 4 Ultra Ball is just a must in every deck, and this deck is the exact same thing. We need to draw into our Pokemon, so Ultra Ball just grabs ourselves Lele, grabs ourselves Bridget. The Ultra Ball also gets ourselves the stage 2 in a certain situation where we need it. So definitely 4 copies. And then 2 Floatstone just to get our Magnezone out of the active position, or Dusk Mane Necrozma without energy. Sometimes that could happen. You want to get stuff out of the active position. So 2 Floatstone could change depending on playtesting. And then of course 3 Choice Band. This is a rather tricky one. You can just choose between 1 to 3 Choice Band. Why am I saying this right now? This is a rather tricky question here because Choice Band won't always be needed. But as soon as the format plays a little bit more bulkier Pokemon, go for more Choice Band. As of now, I think running 1 to 2 is just sufficient, since you are gonna find the space for everything that I just listed in this video. So why are you just running 1 or 2 choice band? Just because things like Golisopod GX get one-shotted without choice band, Zoroark gets one-shotted without choice band, and there's a lot of Pokemon that gets one-shotted without choice band. So the choice is up to you. Sometimes you just come across a Solgaleo GX and you say like, oh my god, I wish I had choice band. So definitely at least run 1 to 2 copies, even though the metagame is not filled with a lot of high HP Pokemon at the moment. Come to think about it, the Decidueye also hard to knock out, so choice band definitely a must, and 220 is the number that is thus without choice band, and that is already enough in my book, just to let you guys know. That's why I'm battling between even running 3 copies at all of choice band. And to finish the video, the energies. I think 12 basic metal energies are sufficient in this deck. We can always get them back with Mount Coronet, things like Fisherman and Super Rod, so you have plenty of energies to attach to your Dusk Mane Necrozma and just go all the way with full force with that second attack, 220 damage. And that's it for another TCG episode on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to demolish the like button, because you know I always appreciate that. Also, be sure to check out my Facebook page, facebook.com/ZapdosTCG. We're nearing 100 likes on that Facebook page, which is awesome, so you guys rock. And yeah, you can just check out the latest TCG news in town on that Facebook page. And that pretty much wraps it up for another episode. Thanks again for watching, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.